Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Rajesh Gautam from Dr. Harishin Gaur Vishwavidyalaya Sagar, Madhya Pradesh, and today I will tell you about the module entitled Origin of Caste, various theories from the paper entitled Human Population Genetics. So let us see what we are going to study in this module. We will talk about various theories of origin and concept of caste. We will also discuss theories behind caste system, changes of caste system in India. So let's start. First, various factors define the social stratification called caste, which further defines the social hierarchy of its individuals. This stratification mainly based on power, prestige, etc. Caste structure is formed on the basis of the birth of individual. In the caste ideology, the Brahmin model of Hindu society faces a problem of life and death derived from the Indian thinking in terms of purity and pollution. We will start with the definition of caste. The root of English term caste or the root of English meaning of jati or caste comes from the word casta, which is Portuguese word and which means breed, race or kind. Breed, race or kind. Hindu system calls it jati. In India, in Hindu system, it is called jati. The functional role of caste as a unit explains the status of equal individuals. Caste also acts as a system which maintains the characters of the very caste and its members. Herbert Risley defined caste as a collection of families bears a common name, claiming a common descent from a mythical ancestor, human or divine, professing to follow the same hereditary calling and is regarded by those who are competent to give an opinion as forming a single homogeneous community. Kettker defines caste as a social group having two characteristics. One, membership is confined to those who are born of members and includes all persons so born. The members are forbidden by an inexorable social and law to marry outside the caste. Another Indian thinker, M.N. Srinivas, said caste is a hereditary, endogamous, usually localized group having a traditional association with an occupation and a particular position in the local hierarchy of castes. Relations between castes are governed, among other things, by the concept of pollution and purity, and generally maximum commensality occurs within the caste. Andre Bethalili said caste may be defined as a small and named group of persons characterized by endogamy, hereditary membership, and a specific style, which sometimes include the pursuit by tradition of a particular occupation and is usually associated with a more or less distinct ritual status in a hierarchical system based on the concept of purity and pollution. Characteristics of caste. The first characteristics of caste is segmentary society. It means there are small social groups called caste, formulates the society as the worth of an individual defines his or her affiliation to a caste. There is no such chance to form an unified society. So, caste system in a society becomes a character of that society of segmentary. The second characteristics of caste is hierarchy. Social superiority and inferiority are defined as per caste status, where Brahmins occupy the top hierarchical position, Sudras are at the bottom, Kshatriya are in second position, followed by Vaisyas. These formulate the total caste system in India. We can visualize the caste system by this pyramid also, where Sudra are at the bottom and Brahmins are at the top of the pyramid, followed by Kshatriya and Vaisya. Though there are untouchables in the society and they are part of Shudras. The third characteristics of caste is endogamy. Endogamy is the most fundamental character of the caste system that directs a member of a particular caste to marry within his or her own caste or subcaste. The violation brings social ostracism or loss of membership, but on the other hand, in certain cases, hypergamy or hypogamy is accepted with riders. The fourth characteristics of caste is hereditary status. Caste hierarchy is affiliated to the membership of the individual to the caste, and the membership is defined by birth of the individual. So caste is a business of those who are born in their respective caste group. The caste system is conceived on the basis of occupation. Affiliated persons to a particular caste practice an occupation which is already prescribed for that caste group. For example, Kshatriya are meant to rule and administration as well as protection of the society against outside attack. Similarly, Brahmins act as priest, barber, washerman do provide services. The fifth characteristics of caste is restriction on food and drink. You might be knowing having or sharing food is an important character of caste structure and hierarchy. It is the caste hierarchy that defines whom an individual belonging from a particular caste will drink and dine with. For example, Brahmins do not take any cooked food from Shudras as it leads to pollution. At the same time, a higher caste can contextually have food or drink from Kshatriyas. Sixth characteristics of caste is cultural differences. The caste hierarchy has defined the cultural practices among different castes by further defining their occupation, pattern of marriage, sanctity and holiness, etc. To be true to own religious status and practices of own caste. So the living practices of different castes are different. As Professor G.S. Ghurye says, caste is a small and complete world for the individuals with differentiating from others. Seventh characteristics of caste is social segregation. Defining differentiating aspects in caste with respect to social segregation, Professor Ghurye says segregation of individual castes or of group of caste in village is most obvious mark of civil privileges and disabilities, and it has prevailed in a more or less definite form all over India. It has been observed that the social segregation is more severe in southern India than northern India. Eighth characteristics of caste is the concept of pollution. Pollution is highly contagious issue and plays a significant role in maintaining the caste distances. It carries a lot of stigma with respect to the person belonging from lower caste. Even the shadow of the service caste is a matter of avoidance for the upper caste. Ninth characteristics of caste is a particular name. Caste and subcaste names are very specific, and those names are the identity of the individual belonging from the caste. Similarly, the name of the caste is also based on his or her occupation, which explains what particular job the person practices. In context of knowing characteristics of caste, let me discuss one of the important characteristics of caste is Janti Panchayats. It is the status and role of caste convention, or it's very important in preserving, revealing and protecting the laws. Though this varies in various name in various parts like Puldria and Jhokla in MP and Rajasthan respectively. Their functions are almost similar, that is maintaining the caste system. Another important characteristics of caste is taboo. Practicing taboo is a social mechanism and prohibition that maintains the issues like good and bad in the society. Though it is biggest source of superstition, it mainly aims to isolate the caste from rest as per the restriction or prohibition, for example, to share space with Sudras or untouchables. Dear students, now let me discuss the theories behind caste system. Let first come to the racial theory. This theory is called racial theory or theories of Varna. Anthropologists like Dr. D.N. Majumdar gave the racial theory of caste in India. As for him, caste system started in India after the Aryans entered. As per this theory, there are various racial features between Aryans and non-Aryans like color, features, practices, speeches. These racial features between Aryans and non-Aryans have given rise to Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Now we are coming to second theory behind caste system, and that is political theory. The political theory of caste is more convinced that Brahmins are formulator of this whole caste system and further molding it as per their need. Caste is a Brahmanic child of Indo-Aryan culture, cradled in the land of Ganga and thence transferred to the other part of India. The caste hybridization or coming up of caste Shankars is illegitimate and out groups in caste system. Further, the political theory states that the Brahmins are identified as Dvij along with Brahmins, Kshatriya and Shudra were also identified as Dvij or twice born castes, while the Shudras are considered once born. The acts and social roles of other three castes were set by Brahmins. Brahmins born from the great words of the god, the Kshatriyas from his arms, and Vaisyas from his thighs, and Shudras from the feet. Caste rigidity, strict rules in religious practices, and social divisions, distinctive division between purity and impurity started to come up. The third theory behind caste is occupational theory. This theory defines caste in the line of social or societal function, further leading to various occupational groups being defined as caste or subcaste. This theory defines the individual's position and status in society based on his or her birth pattern as placed in societal hierarchy or superiority and inferiority. Newsfield, in his observation on caste, said, "Function and function alone is responsible for the origin of caste structure in India." The fourth theory behind caste is traditional theory. The traditional theory of caste system brings in the divine origin of caste system. It refers to the formulation of caste system by the divine creator Brahma in his process of creation of world and human society. Dr. Majumdar says, we take the divine origin of the Varna as an allegorical explanation of the functional division of society. The theory assumes practical significance. Further, this theory defines caste as the customized form of guilds. He opines that while tribes, guilds, and religion interacted with each other, caste came to the form by adopting specific professions in a fixed format. The tribes were transformed to guilds, taking the cue from the priest. The tertiary position in the society of the other guilds started to practice similar practices like endogamy, with giving rise to a caste in a period of time. The next theory behind caste system in India is religious theory. This theory of caste is mainly advocated by Hoggard and Sennard. Hoggard defined social stratification as a result of religious principles and customs. He generalized that the predominant role of religious priest and the king with a godly figure played a pivotal role in formation of various functional organelles in the society. Sennard, taking the clue from religious prohibition, said the caste system originated with particular local god who accepts a particular food as offerings. Believers of different deities are part of different groups. The seventh theory behind caste system was given by M.N. Srinivas, the famous anthropologist. He stated Sanskritization as a process by which a low Hindu caste or other tribal group changes its custom, ritual, ideology, and way of life in the direction of a high and frequently twice-born caste or Dwij caste. Generally, such changes are followed by a claim to a higher position in the caste hierarchy than that traditionally conceded to claimant caste by the local community. The theory of Sanskritization further states the claim is usually made over a period of time, in fact, a generation or two before the arrival is conceded. Occasionally, a caste claims a position which its neighbors are not willing to concede. This type of agreement between claimed and conceded status may not only in the realm of opinion but also in the more important realm of institutionalized practice. Thus, Harijan caste in Mysore do not accept cooked food and drinking water from the Smiths, who are certainly one of the untouchable caste and therefore superior to Harijans. The next theory behind caste system in India is theory of dominant caste. Understanding dominant caste is crucial to the understanding of rural social life in India. A caste may be said to be dominant when it is preponderates numerically over other castes and when it also wields preponderant economic and political power. A large and powerful caste group can be more easily dominant if its position in the local community is not too low. Occasionally, a caste is dominant in a group of neighboring villages, if not over a district or two, and in such cases, local dominance is linked with regional dominance. The theory of dominant caste further states when a caste enjoys one form of dominance, it is frequently able to acquire other form as well in course of time. Thus, a caste which numerically strong and wealthy will be able to move up in the ritual hierarchy if it Sanskritizes its ritual and way of life and also loudly and persistently proclaims itself to be what it wanted to be. It is further noteworthy that the Indian caste system is a social institution in itself than simply being a Hindu practice. Most importantly, caste system is not a simple Indian concept, it is also practiced in other parts of the world. The feudal medieval Europe also functioned like a caste-based system. The ninth theory behind caste system is theory of fission. This theory is a landmark theory in the process of explaining caste system. The theory was proposed by Iravati Karve, a famous anthropologist. She states that most castes are tribe in origin. Like a tribe, a caste is an extended kin group traditionally spread over a definite geographical region, and as in a tribe, members of a caste which used to be or still is regulated by a caste which used to be or still is regulated by a caste council. Karve further states idea of caste system in that caste system is not an outcome of Aryan tradition. Rather, it was there in pre-Aryan time. As Karve defined the caste as a caste cluster rather than caste like Brahmins in a caste cluster along with subcaste as the castes. She further explained that caste in the caste cluster could successfully elevated themselves to the same social rank through time and continued to maintain their endogamous character. So she said these groups in a caste cluster can be culturally different significantly along with without any genetically different. So in this context, let me now discuss evolutionary theory with the assumption of social evolution as the very process explain the caste system in an outcome of long process of social evolutionary process rather than any other way. This theory defines following factors as few influential ones in caste formulation process. One is common occupations running through generations. Second, the Brahminical desire for Puritanism. Third, absence of strict state control. Then, fourth is the liberal ruler giving space for various customs to prevail than common code. The fifth is concept of karma as the driving practice with strong faith in reincarnation. Sixth is ancestor worship, ideas of exclusive family and sacramental meal. Seventh is growing confrontational practices and intolerance between the patriarchal and matriarchal system. Then the eighth is confrontation of various racial groups increased social prejudices. The ninth one is heavily customed social policies without stability. Tenth is communication barrier. 11th is largely stagnant social system. 12th is attack by intruders. And 13th is lack of modernization in structure of the whole society. Dear students, now let me summarize the module by which by studying this module, now you are able to understand the different theories behind the existence of caste system as well as the characteristics of caste system, and in this way we should also know what are the changes taking place in caste system. So let me discuss the changes taking place in Indian caste system. First we discuss structural changes in caste system occurred due to declining Brahminical supremacy in the society. Second, changes in caste hierarchy. Third is empowerment of untouchables. Now let's see what are the functional changes occurred in the caste system because of change in the fixation of status, change in with regard to occupation, change in marriage restrictions, then change in commensality, change in concept of purity and pollution, change in overall lifestyle of the pupil, and change in inter-caste relations, changing power structure of caste panchayats, and restriction on education is now no more. Then change in system of power, growth of caste consciousness, and weakening of Jajmani system. We should also know what are the attitudinal change taking place in caste system. These are the declining nature of belief in ascriptive status and the philosophical transition being taking place. At the end, we can say this is very pathetic that in the era of science and technology, the unscientific concepts like caste still exist in Indian society, especially in Hinduism, and no efforts are being made by any forward or any institution to abolish such unscientific practices, which is a major cause of backwardness of Indian society. Because of such practices, we are still divided and facing various stigmas. Thank you.